Looking through an hourglass, the changes of the river pass. How long does the present last? The future now will soon be past.
Great.
Some things change and some get lost. Shadow from a window pane. All feels just like an illusion. Everything's moving without any motion. All that I want is some explanation to this. I really need someone to tell me how long I've been sleeping for. I couldn't tell you where I am. Probably been here before. Oh, it feels just like an illusion. Everything's moving without any motion.
Good morning from the Forest of Dean. We're just away for a long weekend, just Friday to Monday, so 3 nights. We're in the Forest of Dean, which is kind of right on the border between England and Wales, sort of near the Wye Valley, which is where You've Got Chainmail and my next couple of books are set, which is exciting. But we're not actually here to do anything in particular. We didn't say, oh, we want to go to the Forest of Dean and then find a place. We actually found the place and we're like, oh, it's in the Forest of Dean. That's great. There's good walking around there. It's really lovely. If anyone's local and looking for like a dog-friendly place to stay, this place is great. So we got here yesterday afternoon, sort of late afternoon, and we had some dinner and then we just kind of hung out. We watched a little bit of TV together. I did some crocheting. I sat outside, watched the sunset, read a book. There's a wood-fired hot tub outside. I tried to take a little bit of video when we were getting it fired up, but we had decided to wait until the sun was fully down to do it because it was meant to be a really good night for stargazing, and it was just incredible, but it meant I couldn't get any footage at all. We'll use it at least one more time while we're here, so I'll make sure that I show you, but it's so idyllic. The view from here is fantastic. The cottage is really lovely. The hosts are incredible. They've been so nice, but the plan for the weekend is to do very little. Like I said, we've not really got anything in particular that we want to do. It's just meant to be a relaxing weekend away from home. Relaxing with a caveat because Kirby does kind of struggle. Kirby, come here. Just in case you don't know who Kirby is. This is Kirby. Hi, you wanna sit? Kirby struggles away from home, so he was up all throughout the night, kept us awake a lot of the night, but it's okay, it's good for him. Exposure therapy, I guess. And if we're gonna be sleep deprived, this is quite a lovely place to be sleep deprived. We had a lovely breakfast this morning and then watched a little bit more TV together, and I did a bit more crocheting. And then later today, we're gonna walk to the local pub. It's about like a 15-20 minute walk across fields. And then this afternoon, there's actually a massage therapist coming to the cottage to do massages for us. Kirby's gonna go for a play date with the Labrador that lives at the main house while Alex and I unwind. Kirby's seeming a bit more settled today, so hopefully tonight he'll sleep a bit better and Alex and I will sleep a bit better. And then tomorrow we're gonna do a slightly longer walk. There's like a picnic area probably like a 45-minute walk away that's got like a swimming spot for Kirby and stuff. So we're gonna walk up there, have a picnic lunch, and then walk back. That's all we're gonna do tomorrow. And then on Monday, we'll have a leisurely morning, get up and go. Probably stop just at a service station for lunch on the way back. So nothing major, but I'm very excited because it's a nice cozy weekend for me. A weekend where I don't have to worry about house projects, I don't have to worry about work, and just read and crochet and nothing else. So I thought I'd show you what I'm working with. I started last night Emily Wild's Map of the Otherlands. This is not the new Emily Wild book. This is actually the one before it. I read the first Emily Wild book last late spring, early summer, and was so obsessed with it. It's now one of my favorite books. And my husband got me this for my birthday last year, and I still haven't read it. A couple of different reasons. There have been a couple times where I've gone to read it and I'm like, oh, I can't handle being disappointed by a book right now, and I was worried I would get let down by the second one. And then there have been other times where I've been so sure that I would love it, and so I'm like, I'm gonna save it for when I really need it. But smoke them if you got them, guys. So we're reading this. I didn't get very far because I only started reading it right before sunset, so I'm like 22 pages in. But my intention is to read as much as possible of this book today and tomorrow. But I brought some options in case I want to switch it up. So I also have my library books with me. So I have The Other Valley, which I think is like dystopian sci-fi-ish, where it's basically about these like neighboring valleys where the towns in those valleys are 20 years apart. So the valley to the east, the town's 20 years ahead in time, and to the west, it's 20 years behind. And the towns repeat in an endless sequence across the wilderness. The only border crossings permitted are morning tours, secretive viewings of the dead in towns where the dead are still alive. I love that kind of book. That's one of my favorite sort of genres, is kind of a literary dystopian or science fiction. So really interested in that. Then we have When Ghosts Call Us Home, which this cover makes it look like it's gonna be like contemporary YA. I do think it might be YA, but it's actually maybe horror, or at least thriller. And it's about a girl who starred in an amateur horror movie when she was a kid that her older sister made. 5 years later, her sister disappears, and she has to go back to the house where they filmed the horror film in order to try to find her sister. I'm not a big horror person, but I really like it when it's got like familial stuff mixed into it. So I thought that this sounded really good. A couple people that I follow online have reviewed it and said it's really good. So I've got that one. And then lastly, I've got Slade House. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember what this is about. And the back is not very helpful. It says, on one side of a high wall lies a narrow, dank alley. On the other, a sunlit garden. And between them, a small black iron door. You just need to open it. Welcome to Slade House. What does that mean? I have no idea, but I checked it out from the library. I reserved it months ago. So 1, must have wanted to read it at some point, and 2, must be popular if it took me months to get it. So there you have it. Those are the books that I have on deck. Emily Wild is my focus, but these others are library books, so I do need to get to them at some point soon if I want to read them in the near future. We shall see. I only brought one bookmark with me though, so we might have to find some receipts. Or I guess I can use the dust jacket. This one is bookmark, but I've got my Fablewood Goods bookmark. I've got these lovely new fairy ones. This is not sponsored. I just love Fablewood Goods. I do have a discount code for you in the description. But I love the little magnetic bookmarks because they're very like subtle. They don't stick up, so I can still like put my book on the shelf, but then it's really easy to figure out where I was in the story. And then in terms of crochet projects, I'm really excited. I'm doing my first ever pattern test for someone. I'm making a cardigan. I haven't gotten very far. Not very impressive at the moment. This is as much of the cardigan as I have. It's gonna go this way, and this is part of the back panel. But it's made out of this lovely, lovely chenille, which is kind of hard to work with, but it's gonna be so nice when it's done. It's gonna be an oversized cardigan. I can't remember off the top of my head the name of the person that I'm pattern testing for, but I will put it on screen. This is their Instagram handle. But yeah, I'm super excited. I will share updates on that. I did bring a couple of like backup crochet projects just in case I get bored of this or the chenille pisses me off. But this is what I need to be focusing on because I think the pattern testing deadline is like the 15th of March. It's not too difficult. I mean, this took me like an hour to do, but I just need to make sure that I actually do it because other than Christmas presents, I've never crocheted on a deadline before. But anyway, I've got my second cup of tea of the day. I know you can't see him, but I've got my trusty pup here next to me. It is lovely outside. It's chilly, but it's lovely. So I think I'm gonna bundle up and try to go outside and read, because it would be a shame to be here and to not be out there, especially when they've got such a nice setup out there. So I think we'll go outside and read for the next hour or so, and then we'll get ready to go walk to lunch.
Change is constant, learning to flow. All the unknown, lemons thrown. May look different from what you've dreamed. Colors and contrast making it art. What if happy can be built? Tuning into.
So the pub was not doing lunch today. We just walked up and they were like, yeah, we do lunch, but we're not doing it today, sorry. We kind of extended our walk so that we had some more time outside. Now we're having a little picnic. And then we're just gonna hang out until the massage therapists get here.
Here with you. Lucky. Ain't it funny? Thought I was lacking.
Yeah, lovely.
Then I realized all is within. Are your thoughts friend or foe? It's your choice.
I had a glorious massage and facial, although I've just seen that. I don't know what that is. It's part of the mask that's still on. I was like, it wasn't a very massage heavy facial. How did that happen? Anyway, it was wonderful. I was on the table for 2 hours. Makes it sound like I was having surgery on the table. Okay, Meredith Grey. Yeah, no, I'm just chilling in the garden. Our hosts were watching Kirby, so I'm gonna let her know that she can send Kirby back out to me. But I'm just enjoying this glorious sunset. I mean, the sunset's behind me, but like the sky and like the light is doing wonderful things even in this direction. So just gonna sit and enjoy it. It is rather cold out, but I'm gonna persevere because there's no point being somewhere like this and not being outside as much as possible. So that's what I'm doing. What's this? Like plate of slop. But tell me what you've got.
It's shepherd's pie.
Point to things as you're saying. Shepherd's
pie with chips, triple cooked chips,
quadruple cooked chips.
cream spinach, and garlicky mushrooms.
Very good. And what are you drinking?
Cavern cider. Seven cider.
There you go.
Not Cavern.
Cheers. try? Okay, so we are back from the pub. It was so good. It's a very local pub, like scampi and chips kind of stuff on the menu usually. And on a Sunday, all they do is a roast. And I'm gonna be honest, I was a little dubious, but it was so good. It was so good. I love a good roast, and this was really good. Anyway, it's about a 20-minute walk there. So we walked there, walked back, lots of stiles to get over, which the dog is not very good at, bless him. Understandable, they're much bigger than he is. But I'm back now, and I'm sitting down to do some more reading. And I was having a little think about the book that I'm reading, because I'm reading Emily Wilde, and despite the fact that I've had like 3.5 hours of reading time over the last 2 days, I'm only about 100 pages into this book, and that is not the story. I would not say that the story is slow paced. It's giving me exactly what I wanted. I'm enjoying it every second that I'm reading it, but I found myself getting disappointed that I hadn't read more, that my page count wasn't higher, and I was even thinking like, should I switch to another book that's going to be faster paced, that I'm going to read faster? And I realized the only reason I was disappointed was because I'm filming for you. And I was like, if I'm making content about wanting to go away and have a cozy reading weekend, should I be reading more? Is this going to be boring for you? But the purpose of this weekend was not to make content. The purpose of this weekend was to go away, relax, unwind, spend time doing things that I love with the person and the dog that I love. And I'm doing that, and I'm loving what I'm reading. So I'm not gonna read faster. I'm not gonna pick up a different book. I am not probably gonna finish this book in this weekend, and that's okay. I am enjoying it, like I said, and I actually do, now that I'm reading it, I remember that the first book was like this too. For some reason, I was just reading it slower than usual, despite how much I was enjoying it. I think it's just the writing style. I just sink into it a little bit more, and it just takes me a little bit longer, and that's okay. It's okay. Pick up a book next that I will read in 2 hours, you know? Different books are going to be read differently, and that's okay. And I'm not going to change the way I'm reading and sacrifice my own enjoyment just for the sake of creating content. And I think that neither should you. If you post about what you're reading, or if you share with other people what you're reading, don't be pressured to sacrifice your own enjoyment of what you're reading just for the sake of the content, or even how much time you're spending reading. Even though that's something that I said I wanted to make sure I was spending plenty of time reading this weekend. If I said I wanted to spend 10 hours reading and I end up spending 6, but I enjoyed all of the time, even the time I wasn't reading, then that's still a win. The goalposts can move, and you gotta follow your enjoyment. Reading's supposed to be fun. I guess that's what I wanted to say. Anyway, so I'm gonna spend some more time reading. I'm gonna keep reading Emily Wilde because I'm loving it. And then we're gonna spend a bit more time together, maybe play another game or watch something, and I'll do some crochet. That's another thing I haven't done as quickly as I expected to, crochet. I'm trying to be really diligent because I'm pattern testing, but it means that every row is taking me a little bit longer than it would have previously because I'm being careful. It's my first time testing a pattern, and I want to do it right. I want to do a good job. I don't want to make a mistake and not be sure if it was my fault or the pattern's fault. So anyway, so we might play a game, might watch something, and I'll crochet a bit, but then we're going to fire up the hot tub again, and we're going to do it when it's lighter out this time so that we can maybe enjoy the sunset. And then we're just having dinner at the cottage tonight, and it'll just be a chill one. Yeah, it should be really nice. I'm actually going to go back inside to read because it's really bright out here. I've had to turn my chair around so that I've not got the sun directly in my eyes, but it's fine. At least you can see the view.
We stand by the fire, your tiny hand in mine. You're 5 feet off the ground. You rest on my shoulder. The stars convey the light, so fragile in the night. In this moment, forever be. In this moment, forever be.
So one thing that always happens to me when I'm away is that all of a sudden I get very inspired. I always tell myself I'm not going to take my computer, I'm not going to take a notebook, anything like that. I don't want to pressure myself to write at all or to do any work related to writing. But I always feel inspired when I travel, even just somewhere relatively local like this. I did a review quite a while ago on the channel of Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott, which is like a memoir about writing and about kind of living life as a creative. And one thing that I still practice that I learned from that I've been doing for the last couple of years is what she calls index cards. I don't do it with physical index cards put in a Rolodex like she does, but I actually have like a digital system for if I have an idea, whether that's a piece of prose that comes to mind or a funny joke or just a little bit of imagery or anything like that, I'll record it and I'll categorize it so that then when I'm writing, I will actually go through and look at my index cards for inspiration. If you want to know more about how I do that, let me know in the comments and I can do a video about kind of my tech setup for that kind of thing. But I definitely have recorded a few index cards today. Sometimes I put them in my notes app just because that's faster to get to, and then I'll put them later on into my like proper index card system. But I just had one. I had a couple earlier when we were walking through a field. So the video that you saw of my partner and my dog walking ahead of me, I initially hung back because I was trying to write down an index card and I nearly fell in a hole in the field. But I love traveling because I feel like it just like, one, you're switched off from a lot of the things that kind of take up mental space at home. And two, especially when you're out and about, like I was earlier, when you're in a new place, it really forces you to kind of pay closer attention. And that's actually a quote from Bird by Bird that I live by, and it's there's ecstasy in paying attention. I have that quote like in the background of my Notion, like that is, I live or die by that quote. And I find that, yes, there's ecstasy in paying attention. There's also inspiration in paying attention. I think the small details are so interesting. And when you read them in books, even if it's not something that like jumps out at you as being particularly poetic or beautiful, it's these kinds of recognizable details that really ground a reader within a story. So I like to write them down when I think of them and try to incorporate them into what I'm working on. And yeah, I've done that. So what I'm going to actually do right now is I'm going to go through my notes app, put all of those that I wrote down earlier into my actual system, and then I'm going to have an herbal tea and I'm going to read a little bit more. I'm close to the halfway point of the book now and I am loving it so much. It's so good. I have no idea where it's going. Certainly with the first book, everything that happens in the second half of that book, it was so unexpected and so felt a little bit at the time out of left field. So I'm not even going to try to predict where this one's going to go, but I'm excited. Yeah, and it's only like 7:30, so I should get a couple of hours of reading and or crochet.
Don't wanna sit around and wait. Thin skin, I'm underwater. Is this really happening? You stay silent, you don't mind. Happiness or dollar signs to you. What about not stealing anyone's time? Anyone's time. I vow to always be fearless and far out for days, weeks, and years to come. Talk. What are words when there's no intention?
That's a wrap on our weekend away. Partner just loaded the car up. I'm about 200 pages into my book. Like I said, wasn't gonna finish it this weekend, but that's okay. I got about 20 rows of crochet done, so not that much. But like I said, I'm trying to be really good and count all the stitches so that I don't make any mistakes. It's been nice. Have you had a nice time, Alex?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really lovely place and it's been good to just relax. Had some nice walks, good food. Mediocre company though, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so it's now Monday, so we're headed back, and tomorrow I'm going to be jumping straight in to edits for SP4. So if you missed the last vlog, we did my edit plan with the dates that I'm going to be working on everything. So if you haven't seen that yet, I'll leave a link in the description, but got some more coming your way of actually starting those edits, how I'm finding it. My pace that I've set for myself is very ambitious, so we'll see if I get to be smug or if I get to be humbled. Make sure you subscribe to find out.